Hi, thank you for watching Digging into China. I'm Dong Shang. The Beijing Winter Olympic is scheduled to open on the evening of February 4th, 2022. The second time in 40 years the Games will be held in China. Other than the medals on the line, the 2022 Games highlight a dilemma facing potential sponsors. Risk association with Chinese Communist Party or forego a much-needed chance at a star turn on the global stage. Major companies are eager to get in on the action. Visa, Coca-Cola, Airbnb, GE, Procter & Gamble, and a host of other businesses will be represented in Beijing as worldwide Olympic partners, the highest level of sponsorship available, a tier that covers several game cycles and is reserved for those writing the biggest checks and launching the most aggressive tie-in marketing campaigns. Mars-Wrigley will be there too, handing out the Snickers, the official chocolate of the 2022 Winter Olympics and the Paralympic Games. Businesses are desperate for a ratings bonanza. Stay-at-home orders have driven more consumers to platforms like Netflix, which don't carry advertising, making the prospect of a live broadcast event all the more tantalizing. Backing a popular sporting event in a country with 1.4 billion consumers might have seemed like a no-brainer. But in reality, it may turn out to be a high-risk gamble. Why? Because of the host, China's regime, Chinese Communist Party, a regime where horrifying human rights abuse have been catalogued by journalists and US officials. A regime has proven easily triggered by the slightest criticism and unafraid to exact economic punishment on those who cross it politically. Already, advocates are asking Airbnb why its lodging is available in a country where Uyghurs in the province of Xinjiang are housed in concentration camps, subjected to forced labor and other abuses. Airbnb is one of many companies that tout themselves as corporate models of social responsibility, highlighting volunteer programs and non-profit outreach in ways that are increasingly a consideration for consumers deciding how and where to spend their money. When it comes to China, the company appears to be less concerned. Zugte Atkin is the program and advocacy manager at the World Uyghur Congress, an organization committed to raising awareness of the minorities' plight. He said, quote, Airbnb is very big on social issues, but they are selective on which social issues, unquote. Such criticism presents a conundrum. How will Airbnb answer it? If the answer alludes to the existence of Uyghur concentration camps, could be enough to threaten its business in China. Sports and politics in China have proven a combustible mix in the past. Just ask the NBA, still struggling to regain full access to the Chinese market after the Houston Rockets general manager tweeted support for pro-independence activists in Hong Kong in 2019. In the wake of China's response, prominent players and coaches withheld criticism and, in some cases, supported China. Chinese broadcasts of NBA games were cancelled, and the sponsorship deals ended, totaling millions of dollars. A state-run network resumed broadcasting NBA games only last October, a year after the offending tweet. In the case of the NBA and other sports, a comment by one person made an entire organization radioactive, and that could put Olympic-affiliated companies in a bind. Revenues for Nike, for instance, grew 24% in China last quarter, compared with 1% in North America. Behind those sales lies a China-based supply chain essential to making its entire global operation work. If one Olympian lands in Beijing and speaks out in support of the Uyghurs, what will happen to his or her corporate sponsor? Given China's modus operandi in such matters, shutting up is likely to be encouraged. Chinese officials reject allegations of human rights abuses. and have characterized the camps as vocational schools. Other than Uyghurs, support groups for Tibet and Hong Kong have also parlayed the games into an opportunity to raise awareness of their causes. The Olympic Charter prohibits demonstration or political, religious, or racial propaganda at Olympic sites. But in December, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee said it would not punish American athletes who protest at the Games. There are significant unknowns to consider. China's crackdown on protests in Hong Kong in 2019 caught popular U.S. business in the middle. Protesters targeted Starbucks storefronts in Hong Kong, believing the company's local franchisees supported Beijing. Apple removed an app used by protesters for what the company said were public safety reasons and faced criticism it was helping the Chinese authorities. There is a precedent to consider, the case of Mesut Ozil, a former midfielder with England's Arsenal soccer club. In late 2019, he posted the comments to his social media accounts decrying the Uyghur internment camps. Arsenal's next game went off the air in China, and when matches resumed, Chinese commentators pretended Ozil wasn't on the field. Ozil's avatar disappeared from the Chinese versions of soccer video games. In Hollywood, almost all the production companies know to avoid the 3 T's: Tibet, Taiwan, and Tiananmen Square. Then why choose Beijing? In 2015, when the location of the 2022 Games was being decided, Oslo, Krakow, and Stockholm had dropped out, leaving just one competitor for Beijing, Almaty, Kazakhstan. The IOC opted for the devil they knew, said Mandy Macon, the executive director of the International Tibet Network, who organized a letter from more than 180 human rights organizations calling on governments to boycott the Games. President Biden has indicated he would not support a boycott that would stop American athletes from attending. Relocation isn't in the cards either. Money talks, or in this case, keeps silent. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I will see you again shortly.